So for us, so for us, we try to approach things, I think, in a very simple way. But sometimes things go things go left, depending on what you say, depending on what's communicated, or depending on what your approach is. But for the most part, like, baby, you already got us. Like, let's talk, let's work this thing out. We're right here, we're present. But I think you remove yourself from situations way faster than what we need you to. And I think the bottom line is that women fall in love with men who don't even have a prayer life. So if a man doesn't even talk to God about you, then who are you dealing with? Like, he ain't got to be a church boy, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But there has to be recognition that God is somewhere in his life. There is some sort of, like, for me, like, yo, I'm gonna pray every day.
No moral God.
Pray every day.
I'm going to go back to something you said, though, that was key. You said men are simple. I need you to unpack that, because as women, we are the overthinkers, right? So anytime something go wrong, our mind is going 1,000 miles an hour. We didn't already planned out what the situation looked like, what happened, why you did this, why you did that. But from a man's perspective, it's just something simple. I overslept. If you forget to call, you didn't show up, or whatever. We all like, well, maybe you see me calling, but you ain't answering the phone, and this.
Or if you call, or if you call us and we text back.
Right.
Why can't you pick up your phone?
That's gonna
Why you
set
can't
it.
pick up
That's
your
gonna
phone?
set
Right.
it off.
But you gotta be mature
Right.
enough.
So what does that
So
mean?
Well, he's right, because you talk about simple, like, you may text, hey, why don't you come over and hang out? Well, do you want me to? Well, I just asked you if you wanted to come over. But do you want me to? Like,
Baby, you already got us.
No.
You got us already.
The complex is
You're
women.
laughing, but does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right.
But I want to know,
But-
you want me to come over?
Passion,
Well, I
how
just
about this?
invited you over to the house.
Yeah,
like,
but then you ask them, like, so, baby, what would you like to eat? Asking a woman what does she want to eat, that's like, she was like, you go, well, let's try this Chinese. I don't like Chinese. I don't feel like that today. Women are very challenging. You go from, you say you want to do this, they'll come up with 50, 60 different. Y'all act like that ain't news. That's new to you?
I think what he's saying is simple. Like, let's paint the room gray.
Right.
And that's not really gray. It's charcoal. It's silver.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think what he's saying is that we are simple. Like, hey, let's just.
The complex side is you. The simple
So
side is us.
if I can say this from a woman's perspective, I think it's that men are more. You guys are just ready to just execute. Like, boom.
I would
boom.
say that.
Yeah. Boom.
Bottom
It's
line.
like bottom line,
Yeah.
because it's like, okay, if you go, I said I called you and you text me back. So in that mind, it's executed. I called back, I reached out, boom, it's done.
Yeah.
There doesn't have to be a whole lot of conversation around it, but a woman will put in stuff like, what was that about? But the man goes, boom, I execute, I'm done, because I'm off, I'm on to something else. I'm thinking about something else, because that's just how I believe.
But what is that about, though?
That looks like.
Because I've been in that
wired that
position
way.
where, if I called you
And I text you back.
but then you respond back with a
With a
text
text?
message.
Oh.
In my mind, I'm thinking, now why the hell he didn't text me when he's seen that I have specifically called him? If I called because I want to talk to you, not because I want you to text me back.
Yeah.
So please unpack
World
and tell me
War
why men do that.
Well, again, I mean, he could have been at work. He could have. I mean, it could have been a number of
Could've
things.
been
Maybe
busy.
he
If
could
he
have been
sleep,
busy.
if you know he
got
off
in a
work,
position where he could not. He could.
Right.
If you
But
can text,
myriad
you
of
can
things.
call.
That goes back
No.
That's not true. That's
no.
not true. That's not true. No.
But the fact that there was a response
yeah.
at all.
So then
Okay,
we
so
go
you
back to
saying
the
I need to look at the
beginning.
fact that
So
he responded.
he made you a priority enough to whatever he was doing. If, like during this interview, all of us could be getting phone calls, right? But if you call, I'm like, wait, hey, I'm on the air. I gave you enough priority to respond to you and continue what I was doing. But I didn't.
It's good. I hope
Because then we
ladies
go
are
back to the
listening.
And I would
beginning.
tell you that if we
Back to
flip
that
that,
beginning.
you'd be thinking the same thing. If I call you and you text me, I'm like, I don't feel like talking. I'm not talking right now. I'm just saying, if you flip it on the other side, I think you'll see our perspective. That it's really not a big. We're being consistent because we're showing you we've made you priority. You know, we've responded.
Right.
Maybe not in the way you wanted us to, but we did respond. There was a response.
Okay, then I'm going
happens
to ask
often.
another question,
Yeah.
too. Because this is another pet peeve of mine. And then, if I call you or I text you, and then we're going to go to commercial break after y'all answer this one. But if I text you or call you and then you take 12 hours to respond back, I don't understand that. You know, like don't. If it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I text you, and then you don't respond till 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Why do men do that?
Unless there was an emergency.
I would almost say there's really, unless it was an emergency, there's really no excuse for something.
Yeah. If you working late,
that's
if you're with family and you have something that has been communicated. As far as, you know what? Because typically you would what you got going on today?
But yeah, you would
preempt them
so they know you're
right.
But if
there ain't no preemption.
But I guess if it's early on and you get that.
Well, I tell you what. Let's put that in context. At what stage? Where are we at?
Where are we
at? Oh, in the
dating stage.
Right. Well,
90 days or beyond.
You may not have moved up in the importance level yet, where you're gonna get a response every day yet. You know, because if he got options, you may not. You know, it might be Susie's day.
That is the problem. Women treat men. That's the thing. As women, we treat y'all as a priority.
Not always.
Most, just in general, when you meet somebody and you're dating them, initially a woman will treat you like you are the priority to her. So she's going to respond to you in a timely manner. 90% of the time, she's going to answer the phone when you call.
It takes us a minute. It takes us a minute to return that.
But on the flip side, y'all, sometimes men will treat a woman like she is an option and not a priority.
Well, the more qualities he has, the more options he will have. And so if he does choose you, then you become that priority.
Oh, okay. So you're saying I got to wade through the options.
Man, I'm like this.
Today's dating, honestly,
because
it's rough for women. You know what? Shout out.
I think so.
Shout out to women.
It may not be fair, but.
Honestly, if you're looking for like a solid dude who's just like, all right, he's a consistent man. He got this together. Blah blah blah. He's the type. It is rough for y'all. So we can acknowledge that, especially majority of the time, women got their stuff together. They y'all together, but it's like 9 billion of y'all, and it's like 12 of them, 12 of that man, and it's rough.
Yeah,
it is.
Would
rough.
it be fair to say? Because this is how I look at it. I do see it from a different perspective. Because I say that if he waited all day to text me, that's because he wasn't interested. Yeah. He decided not to. Mm-hmm. And that's just as simple.
Yeah.
And so when I say that to myself as a woman, he decided not to. Now that gives me a completely different perspective.
Yeah. Right.
I am not.
Yeah.
It depends.
But don't reach back out to me.
No, I don't. Because I'm going to share my philosophy. Right. And this is real. Cassandra knows this about me. This is my philosophy. If I text and he did not text me all day long, I am not getting ready to text you to tell you what you know you didn't do. I'm not doing that as a woman. Why should I
takes time to get to where she is.
Well, but why? But I want women to hear this. Why should I text you to say, why didn't you text me? Why didn't you call me? He knows that. Now, if he
on the flip side, if he texts you back, are you gonna respond?
Yeah, I'm not a spiteful person, right? But it depends on what the relationship really is, right? Mm-hmm. If let's say we're just beginning.
You said you're a woman with though. You're gonna establish expectations.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say what you ain't called.
I think Cassandra's laughing because I think she knows where I'm going because y'all have that man. Forget it. He didn't text me. I ain't got nothing to say to him. I'm done. Hey, what you doing? Nothing.
But my point, that is my point though. I just feel like, if you see a trend of a man never ever responding, he's always late and he's never really giving you that has to tell you he is just not that interested. For whatever reason, maybe you are an interesting person. You are a good person. He has made a decision that something was more important. So I got to do something different. It wasn't you.
It wasn't you.
No, it wasn't you.
Because your quality as a woman still stands.
Thank you.
You're
it
still
was not
quality.
You. So then I get to make a decision.
Yeah.
Do I keep giving you my energy? I ain't got to be nasty and ugly and talk to the hand. But do I? No. I'm going to assign just as much value to you as you have assigned to me.
Yeah.
So whatever you do, hey, I'm going to mirror that. I'm not going to give you no more energy. But that ain't being mean. That's just being like, hey.
It may make him chase.
It might.
Some men,
Because I'm going to be so busy with my life. I got stuff going on. I don't have enough time in my day to calculate how many minutes it's been since you have texted me. I got stuff going on. So when a man sees that, he know he didn't text you back. I ain't got to tell you that. I'm rolling on with my life. And you going to find value in the fact that I ain't getting ready to probation officer your butt. That ain't my role as a woman.
No, we going to go to commercial break. But when we come back,
going out.
But
that's how I feel.
Yeah.
And she know it.
Yeah. I want to talk about the...
she did. She got real. There we go.
We going to go to commercial break and pay some bills, y'all. But when we come back, I want to talk about that chase. Because I always hear that, even my mama, let a man chase you. So let's talk about that when we come back. So you have been tuned into Let's Go There with Sassy C and Tia. We're going to go to commercial break and pay some bills. We'll be right back, y'all.
Have you ever experienced the stress of dealing with a loved one during a disability or seen the chaos after the death of someone who's died? Well, Norton Estate Planning and Elder Law Firm specializes in helping guide families through such traumatic events. They're committed to helping individuals create a personalized estate plan that meets their expectations. The firm is comprised of individuals that believe in education, maintenance, and collaboration. They believe that estate planning should focus on providing you with a plan that reflects who you are, maximizes your control during life, protects you and your wishes in the event of a disability, and provides the instructions for carrying out your legacy at your death. If you're in need of wills, trust, power of attorney, guardianship assistance, Medicaid services, or probate administration, contact their office today at 317-572-8696 or visit their website at www.estateplanners.org. Norton Estate Planning and Elder Law Firm is committed to protecting your dignity and securing your legacy.
All right, and we are back from commercial break. So before we went to break, I posed the question. We always talk about, as a woman, we are always taught to let men chase us, the chase, the hunt, the chase. But that sometimes is very hard to do. I'm going to say from my perspective, Tia laughing because she already know. I'm that type of woman where if I see something that I like, I go after it. Like I'm learning to not be aggressive. I'm learning to allow a man to pursue me, but maybe my lack of allowing a man to pursue me comes from me dealing with rejection issues, if we can just be honest, or me feeling like I'm not going to, get chosen, and so I don't want to get emotional. But I think that's for me, like, it's so super hard to.
That's all right. No. And that transparency is awesome. So when you talk about the fear of rejection, men have that as well. An attractive woman, guys are like, how do I approach her? The assumption is if a woman's attractive, she probably got someone. Or if she has expensive stuff, she's probably high maintenance. I mean, a lot of people can take the wrong perception. She could go to thrift stores and pick up the stuff. You don't know how she acquired it, or through a lifetime. So perception can't be, not everything you perceive can be the reality of it. But what is real is that men want to find their wives. You want to find the woman that you think is just for you, that she will forsake others, you'll forsake others. You don't want to compete with other dudes for some woman, If there's other people in the mix, if a guy's got any standard of quality of self-esteem, he'll walk away until you clear your deck, But just same way when you were talking about it, if someone doesn't make you a priority, you got to return that, And some men will turn around and go chase that because even if you got options, the woman that'll walk away from you will become the one that you're most interested with.
Pastor Henry, you want to weigh in on what that looks like? Sorry to get emotional.
No, honestly, I felt what you were saying, and I felt your tears. It was very sincere. And I think you just boldly and very transparently speak for a lot of women who are dealing with their own degree of brokenness, which causes them to respond to men the way that they do. Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, and you introduced me as the pastor at the beginning of the show, but I have not went biblical or pastoral since I've been here. I will now. Because it always has been, the Bible says that a man that findeth a wife finds a good thing, obtains favor from the Lord. So it's always been the design of God for a man to be the pursuer, to find the women. But over